Yep. Yeah, there he is, the man, the myth, the legend, the one that gets to cover Tyreek Hill all the time. Isn't it fun, huh?
So much fun. I was really looking forward to when this week started to what's the next thing Tyreek Hill can do that I get to cover and talk with Big O about.
And it's just it's terrible that people in the Dolphins have to rely on them to keep their jobs. You got to rely on him to be a decent human being and go out and be a professional to actually write about entertaining football instead of stupid drama, right? Fans have to count on a guy that's unreliable in order to have an enjoyable season. Keita can't rely on him to be a good husband. So, it's really tough to be. This is why I have no enthusiasm for this season. None whatsoever. It's not so much that I have no belief whatsoever in Mike McDaniel. He cannot coach, and he'll never, ever lift this team up. But when you have things like this that you have to count on, and as much as I love Tua the passer, Tua the human being drives me crazy because he makes stupid decisions with his body. It's really hard to look forward to the 2025 season, and this whole Tyreek thing just adds to it, bro.
Yeah, and first, let's be clear: no criminal charges in this situation. The police were called.
I don't care.
Yeah, just to get the facts out there.
Dude, on this show, I'm not here to worry about people's feelings, and I don't really care if people get insulted or they get all hot and bothered. That's not what this platform's about. This is not about feelings. So don't worry about that, bro. That's not important here. Okay.
Oh, no, I'm not doing.
If people want to use that as a cheap excuse for that guy at this point, that's used for Teron Armstead. That's used for Jalen Waddle. That's used for Tua. That's used for somebody that it happened to him once. It was freakish. It would never ever happen. And hey, this is freakish. There are no charges. This guy's never in trouble. We do that. For people like this, they don't get the benefit of that doubt. That's gone. That's out the window.
Well, that's the thing. Those guys you mentioned, they never find themselves in these types of situations. I just wanted to say that to put the fact out there so people don't miss.
In order to get that, my point is, in order to get the break you just mentioned, you've got to be them.
It's not a break. It's not a break.
A guy like
gets no break. I agree with you.
A guy like Tyreek gets no breaks at all. None.
I agree with you that he doesn't get a break, but just saying that to be accurate. But at the end of the day, why is it always him that he's in some position to have the police called on him, where his wife now wants to get a divorce, where his mother-in-law is witnessing this and feels the need to call the police because he's got his little baby daughter, that woman's granddaughter, on the balcony, and I'm guessing the insinuation is a threat to possibly, I don't even want to say it, but to throw her off or something. The video seemed to show he looked down, but it wasn't like he was hanging her over. Like I think, what was it? Like Michael Jackson one time went. It was crazy
when he tried to show
the baby.
Yeah, he was trying to show
the baby. Yeah,
that was a stupid move by Michael. It wasn't a malicious move. In other words,
right. This one's fueled by anger.
Responsible. Yeah.
This is fueled by anger for Tyreek Hill, where even Keita Vaccaro is saying in according to that police report, now she sees him as just too inconsistent with his emotions and angry all the time, and that she fears for their daughter because of it. So, if you're looking at sides, like I was just playing pickleball with some friends, and then my friend's wife, we were talking about this incident, and she goes, I'm with his wife on this one, like almost like she expected us as the boys to be like, no, you got to give Tyreek, and I was like, yeah, absolutely. Tyreek Hill has earned no right to get any benefit of the doubt. Obviously, we should be with his wife on this one and believe her because her accounts are probably very true and accurate and believable. And one thing that Tyreek Hill has not earned the right is to be believed in pretty much
anything. Anything. He's a habitual liar. He's a con artist. He never tells you the truth. Okay? I mean, I'm carrying around a lie that I can't even talk about.
Right.
Okay? And I'm just waiting to unleash it like the freaking Kraken. And I can't even talk about it. Okay? And when I talk about this lie, it'll be a bomb. Okay? It'll be a bomb. All right? Omar was the last one to figure out one of the bombs I had a couple of years back. We'll see if any of you guys figure out the bomb I have. I've been telling our listeners for a while. But we'll wait, because eventually clock ticks. By this time next April, it'll be out. It'll be out because there'll be changes and he won't be here. And so then I can talk when he's gone. But meanwhile, you can dig if you want. You can try to find it. I hope you find it. I'm not going to tell you, but there's a
Huge game
nice
of Clue, this mystery game that we're playing.
there's a Hard Rock Stadium type one that's hanging out there, and it's hilarious. It's been around for a while. You guys haven't figured it out yet, so but it's good. It's a good one. It's a really good one. It's a really juicy one. But unfortunately, I am held. Cannot say what happened, but man, oh. And this is why he doesn't deserve the benefit of the doubt too. On top of all of that, the team pretty much overlooked the quitting stuff, and they moved on and had their conversations and all that stuff. And now, the team said they're not going to have any comment. They're going to have to comment about it the next time there's an availability. And if they do in the free agent things, somebody's going to bring it up in the free agent press conference.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why I always, I know, say what you will about Mike McDaniel as a coach, but man, I hate it for him when he always has to answer for every little fucking. Sorry, well, no, I can do that here. Every little thing that happens with this team, it's like um, he has to answer for. Like I was just feeling it during owners meetings because. Yeah, we didn't have Chris Greer on the record to answer about the offseason, about the free agency wave, and then it's kind of like, all right, he has to answer for everything that has happened. And then anytime it's a Tyreek Hill thing, well, like even that same owners meetings press conference, he had 3-4 questions of the first 5 were all about Tyreek Hill, and he's got to answer about Tyreek Hill, a guy who he's supposed to just already have solidified on the roster, one of the better talents on the roster, and just not have to worry about him. But it seems like every single time we hear from them, we got to get caught up on something from Tyreek Hill. And then now,
okay, so let me ask you
literally we're just answering on him, and they got to talk about him again.
Okay, so and you're right, or we're both wrong on this. Okay, because I agree with you on this, but then I can also say we also may be wrong on this, and we won't know, or maybe you can find out. I can find out. I can tell you for a fact this was going on. There's a part of that building that did not want to pay Tyreek. They were not paying him. Something changed. And something triggered that they were not comfortable with, that they thought, maybe he wasn't going to act straight or he was going to go off the beaten path. But there's a story there for you. If you can figure out who in that building didn't want to pay him and who in that building convinced who to pay him. And there's a part of me, I don't have any proof whatsoever. All right, David, but there's a part of me that thinks it was Mike McDaniel, the softy, who convinced the front office that no, I need him. He'll be fine. All that kind of stuff. Because it sounds very Mike McDaniel what happened. Because I can tell you for a fact there was a strong faction in that building that did not want to guarantee Tyreek the money, and now they're screwed because they would have been freed of him at the end of last season. Now they have to carry him this year. They have no choice. As you know, you know the math. It would put them behind the 8. It would guarantee them getting fired, even though there's a good chance they're going to get fired because to count on that guy is crazy. but they have no choice. They have to go to hell with him, whether they like it or not. So the very interesting story here is to find out who are the people that really didn't want to pay Tyreek and who the hell convinced who that no, they should guarantee him that money. That's the story here on that one.
Yeah, and pure speculation, but it would fall in line with past behavior, history. It would be because Mike McDaniel was the one who, and this one we did get confirmed in the media, who did get or convinced the front office to give Tua the contract extension. So I mean, yeah, it would fall in line with his line of thinking. He's very pro player. He is on the player side. So yeah, in those instances, yeah, he does take the players' end of things, and then also on Chris Greer, then if your head coach is coming to you, then you have to make a decision and be
Amen.
that adult in the room and not give him everything that he wants too. So.
Amen.
Yeah, right. So there's two sides of it where, yes, I mean, if the person who wanted it is Mike McDaniel, then that is certainly something to chastise him over. But then also, as Chris Greer, your head coach comes to you, and yeah, you can take some feedback and hear some of his input. But at the end of the day, you have to draw the line and make the decision, and not let him basically run everything and then run everything vicariously through you.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
Listen, as much as I like Chris Greer and Reggie McKenzie and Marvin Allen, I know McKenzie's gone now. And I actually like a lot of the personnel decisions that they've made. But where I can't defend them is all their coaching mistakes from Flo till now. And because both coaches have had problems with their assistant coaches and all those turnovers, that has forced you to turn over talent also. Talent that should have stayed here and never left, which you would be a much better team with Minkah Fitzpatrick and Rob Hunt in here. You know what I'm saying? Just those are two minor examples over the years. But when you have changes from one coach to another, and here comes Mike McDaniel, and he says, "No, I don't need Mac Hollins." Well, you're an idiot. You do need Mac Hollins, but whatever. It's just kind of, these are the things that will burn you forever as a team, and as you continue to change coaches, that ruins you as in front office, because all of a sudden the next guy comes in and says, no, I don't need that guy, even though he's a good player. No, we'll get this guy instead or something. And it's just, notice how all the changes of coaches have really led to some of the turnovers of players. And then here we go. Here's where you're at. And guess who you blame? You have to blame the front office for the coaches who can't complete their coaching staffs. You know what I mean? And you have to blame the front office, unfortunately, for giving into some of the coach's demands. Sometimes you're going to have to tell a coach, no, dude, that I don't like that player. We're going to take this one. He's a better player and fits what you do. Okay? This is my job. We're going here. And no, I'm not paying this guy because you need to keep him in line. You want me to pay him? I'll pay him next year if you keep him in line. That's what you're supposed to do with your head coach. You know what I mean? There has to be a give and take. And I think at times the front office has been too giving, and they have appeased, in other words, their coaches a little too much.
Good word, Vigo. Good word right there.
Yeah.
Appeased.
Yeah. You got to sit down with Flo and say, hey, man. Okay, there's no woman around. Hey, find a fucking way to make it happen with Minkah Fitzpatrick. What do you want me to do? Trade one of the 5 best safeties in the league? Fuck you. That's what I would have told Flo. I would have said, you need to grow up as a head coach. You need to have better people skills. Okay? That guy's a hell of a player. Make sure you keep him here as a hell of a player. I'd rather get rid of him than you. I mean, I'm sorry, you than him. That's what I would have done as a GM, because I'll give you a little inside story. Joe Philbin did that every week to the front office. Every week he'd walk in and tell the front office, Ireland, whoever was in there, he'd tell them, I can't coach this player. You got to get rid of him. And it got to the point where Ireland and the company told them, you need to learn how to deal with other personalities that aren't perfect. You've got to learn we cannot get rid of all the people you want to get rid of. We'll never have a football team. They told Joe Philbin that I don't know if Chris Greer has ever done that to his coaches.
And then Mike McDaniel's kind of almost on the opposite extreme of he wants to make everything work. So here you have with the Tyreek Hill situation where,
Right.
all right, you got your productive years out of him to start, but you also saw firsthand all the other things that are entailed by having Tyreek Hill on your roster, all the off-field distractions, all the incidents, and then you had your out. You could have easily and sure they might say they still have an out, but it's much more challenging the way it is right now. But you had your way out if you just didn't guarantee him all that money, and then where it kind of you mentioned all those other coaches where they don't want to work with that personality. It's almost like Mike McDaniel. I think he wants to try to make everything work. That's one of his lasting like a deadly sin for him. Is just he wants to always give it the benefit of the doubt and try to make it work. When Tyreek Hill has proven he's just a toxic personality that is not feasible to work with, and it's for the talent that he is. It shows that the Kansas City Chiefs won back-to-back Super Bowls once he was gone, and then made another one. So 3 Super Bowl appearances, 2 titles since he was gone. Had more success without him than with him. Granted, that's a whole other story with Patrick Mahomes and all that stuff.
Simple math. Simple math. Are you ready? Are you prepared? Are you ready?
Do I need a calculator? Do I need a calculator?
No, you won't need a calculator. Simple
You
math.
did it for me. You did the math.
It has nothing to do with Tyreek. When they lost with Tyreek that last year, and when they lost this year, and when the Dolphins have been losers for 40 years, why don't you answer the question? What is the common denominator?
Of how many years of the past?
Again, the last year Kansas City was in the Super Bowl with Tyreek, they got their asses handed to them. This year, they got their asses handed to them. For 40 years, the Miami Dolphins get their asses handed to them. What is it for 40 years that Miami can't get right, yet Kansas City in the last couple of years didn't get it right for 2? All the other ones, they got it right. What is the common denominator?
The O-line.
Thank you.
The big O-line.
It has nothing to do with Tyreek Hill. You can win with Phil McConkey and Mark Ingram as your wide receivers. Brandon Stokely can be your number 1 when really it's the tight end and Jamal Lewis. But we're defense, your offensive line, your running game, you have that. The receivers interchangeable. Yeah, you need receivers, but do you need receivers more than you need an offensive line? No.
Shit, look at those early Patriots teams when it was like Deion Branch and David Givens.
Glenn. No, not Troy. No, not Troy Glenn. Troy Brown.
Terry Glenn, I'm thinking of, but Troy Brown. Troy Brown.
Yeah. Troy Brown was a special teams receiver. That was your number 1 receiver. The Tennessee Titans, okay, were led by Kevin Dyson as their number 1 wide receiver, okay? A guy that was a special teamer and became their number 1 wide receiver, but they had Wycheck and they had McNair and they had a running game, an offensive line, a defense. It's amazing. It's amazing how football works, and Kansas City, by the way, it's not like they had great receiving cores here the last couple of years either when they won the championship. You know what I'm saying? So the offensive line is everything. It's everything, dude. You must win on the offensive and defensive lines. It's funny how in the 70s is where the Dolphins dominated. And why? Because they had an offensive line. Not 1 or 2 linemen. No. They had 5. And that's how you win in this league. When those 5 up front are controlling everything, Tyreek Hill and others become interchangeable.
That's right. I mean, you get the run game going. It makes it so much easier for the running backs. You're not dependent on the running back creating something when there isn't something there. The O-line just takes care of that for you. The pass protection is there. You give your quarterback time to read the defense and make plays, even if it has to be off schedule.
You think you're playing cover 2
to get open.
You think you're playing cover 2 against the Ravens? No, because they're
Yeah.
going to run. They're going to kill you
Yeah.
with the run. And anybody that can run, you've got to bring that safety up. That linebacker is on his toes, not on his heels. With the Dolphins, you're facing their offense. You're always on your heels because you don't have to worry about the run. And that's what this guy doesn't get. It's funny that the guy that was the run coordinator doesn't get that he has to run here first. That would make Tua better. That would make everything better. Meanwhile, here's Kyle Lowry coming by. All right,
Oh,
that's we have a garbage truck
a
when we.
garbage truck. I saw it in the reflection behind you.
Yeah. That's Kyle Lowry. He visits our show 2 Fridays a month when we're out here.
Jeez.
He's kind enough. I listen. I think it's really nice that Kyle Lowry takes the time to make an appearance on our show twice a month. I mean,
Good improv. Good improv, Big O. You
I'm
just
telling you, I'm
it
telling.
happens right in front of you, and you come up with it just like that.
Well, it's old. That's a running joke on this show already. It just happens with you this time here, but normally, like when people are watching the show, they know that that's Kyle Lowry when it comes by on the show there. All right, so are you staked out? Is it like you, Perkins, and Hyde taking 8 hours each at Tyreek's house and following him around? What's going? How is the Sun Sentinel following Tyreek Hill and watching to see where he gets in trouble next?
Yeah, and not to that extent. And luckily, we also have a news team, so we so we do
You're
get a
gonna
lot of
need it.
help
You're
with.
gonna need it, bro. You're gonna need it. Do you guys
Yeah.
have a helicopter? Because that might be the best thing to follow Tyreek around with. You
No,
know?
yeah, we might have to make that investment to like Channel 7 had that helicopter over the fire at his other home, and uh, boy, it really is just something all the time. I mean, I did put out a tweet of like, when was the last time there was 2 months where there was no issue, no drama from Tyreek Hill, and I really think, I mean, you could probably bridge it together where there's every 2 months there's something happening, something that you got to talk. I remember all that last off season. So many of our shows of the segments I did with you were just about Tyreek Hill during the downtime and in like before training camp and all this, and then they still ended up giving him all those guarantees. It'll be what
This is
ultimately I think
self-inflicted.
is the
This is
downfall of
all
it.
this is all self-inflicted.
It is. It is.
That's the worst part about the whole Tyreek situation. This is all self-inflicted. You had an easy decision last year. You didn't have to guarantee him the money. That was
Yeah.
the best way to keep him in line. Because if he's stupid enough to understand that he's a free agent at the end of the year and he's going to act off, then he won't get any money from anybody else. So behave. That might have been the best way, and you didn't do it. And now, see, the problem is with these kind of people, if you keep rewarding this behavior, they never end up learning. That's the problem. You know what I mean? And so Adam Gase acts like a complete asshole here. Okay. I mean, he is a genius. He invented social distancing even before the pandemic ever happened. So he knew what was coming. So I give him always credit for that. But he does everything wrong here. He has no people skills. And how is he rewarded by this? Does the league fire him and does he go as an assistant coach somewhere and try to work his no? The Jets come knocking on his door and give him a head coaching job. And he goes and proceeds to do the same shit. There's no difference. It's just a different way of acting. Obviously, Tyreek's a little bit more disturbing, but Gase was the same asshole in New York, and now he's completely out of football because you rewarded an asshole for being an asshole constantly, and this is what happens. And if Whiteside's immature, well, giving him $100 million isn't going to make him mature, dude. you know. And so this is. I was talking about this before you come on, and that's our problem. That's our
Yeah.
problem. That's the
Yeah.
problem. By the way, you were asking what should the Dolphins do with Tyreek Hill? I thought I had a great suggestion.
Is
I
that
don't
what
know,
we're pulling up here?
Sean, you should show it to the folks there. I mean, that's what I said. Introduce them to Britney Spears. I mean, you got to admit that would make it fun. Tyreek and Britney together.
That would be a good reality TV show.
I mean, it's Tyreek, bitch. That's it. It's yeah, Tyreek and the freak. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Tyreek could be dancing. She's dancing with knives. I mean, there's a lot of potential here with Brittany and Tyreek. Tell you.
Oh man.
That's pure poison right there. And
Oh, you got all the references.
you're damn right, baby. All right, what do you got going on the Sentinel there so folks can check you out?
Yeah, we have been doing all our positional breakdowns pre-draft. On the Sun Sentinel website, we already have quarterback, running back, wide O-line, and tight end. Wide receiver will be next week. Where the Dolphins stand at all these positions, and also the draft breakdown of potential Dolphins options there as we lead you into the draft. And this weekend, I will be doing my mock draft, so I'm pretty excited about that. See how it all shapes out.
You better give me Membu, you son of a bitch.
Oh man, but I got to take every team before the Dolphins like if I'm picking for them too. So I can't just manipulate the board to give the Dolphins the guy I want. Because I'm with you. I would love it, but I fear that someone's going to take him before. So I do
Listen,
have to give every other
pissed.
team that.
I'm fucking pissed. I'm calling Trump. I need an executive order.
I've done like 6 mock drafts just to see where, and he's gone in every one of them. Never there.
I'm calling Trump.
Yeah, so it's going to be tough to keep him around. I'd really have to manipulate it specifically to give the Dolphins Membo if it were going to work out.
I'm calling Trump. I'm going to get an executive order that Membu must be taken by the Dolphins in 13, and nobody can touch him for the first 12 picks.
At
And
13,
Membu to Miami, and I want it. I want the orange man showing it.
Are you trying to trade up if you have to?
No. I get an executive order. I don't need shit. Okay. All right. Executive order is what I want.
I didn't know you had it.
So, Orange Man, let's go, orangutan. Produce it. I need Membu at 13. I don't want anybody else taking him. All right.
He's going to be Aqua and Orange Man at the end of this.
Yeah. Stop attacking islands with seals and stuff. Putting tariffs on those poor seals.
Was it the seals or the penguins?
Penguins and seals. There's
both
penguins and seals on that island. Yeah. I mean, come on, bro. We're charging those people. I mean, come on. Leave the penguins and the seals alone. Let's go. I want an executive order from Membu. Okay. All right. Follow him on Twitter at David Furones _ Catch his work there at the South Florida Sun Sentinel. Or if not, he'll get an executive order. Make sure you do it. Okay. Either way, you're going to do it, whether you like it or not. David, have a great weekend, my brother. We'll catch up on Tuesday.
Likewise. Have a great weekend, Big O.
You got it. Welt Rheaume. We love Jeff Welt and Daniel Rheaume, 954-966-4646. Jeff Welt is salt of the earth, bro. He is a beautiful human being. He suffers like we do. Yep, he's a Dolphins fan. He's a Canes fan too, so he's been suffering for a while. So you can talk to him about all those issues and any other issue you may have: bankruptcy, homeowner property damage, condo damage, criminal defense, business owner claims, commercial litigation, personal injury. Loves his music too, big rocker. So if you're in it, loves punk rock too. So if you love punk rock, talk to Jeff Welt about it. Daniel Rheaume. This guy's a different cat. He's a stunt pilot. So, if he walks into a courtroom, he's got ice in his veins. Okay? He's a stunt pilot. Come on. He's got ice in his veins. 954-966-4646. Call him. Get ice in your veins. Welt and Rheaume. Manny Navarro is next.